Hope everyone is doing great today. So today is going to be it's July 25th. I think it'll be the 29th earnings and the news as well, a little bit what's going on here. So as we can see, we'll have a look at the earnings here. Monday is probably, it's, bit of a tiny bit of a slow day, but Tuesday, we really get started with Alphabet and Microsoft. Will be the most of note. We'll have a look at the street projections as well. Then you have Chipotle, McDonald's, all kinds of important and big companies here for sure. Texas Instruments, if the chips and stuff, lots of yeah. So we'll have a look here. Microsoft, here is their projections, EPS of that, and that still holding up. It's pretty good growth for sure. I'm very curious to see how much FX is going to hit Microsoft and all these big tech companies. Microsoft did warn about it before of note, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens not only with Microsoft, but with all of big cap tech and all these companies with FX and the dollar being so strong. So another huge thing that is going to be the GDP reading, the first release of, it should be, this is wrong. It should be Q3 GDP because we've had Q1 and Q2 have both been negative GDP. So this will be very interesting. Of note though, look, as you can see, the current forecast is positive, but very low-ish. So it'll be very interesting to see. For sure, this is going to be huge. And then not only that, but we have the Fed meeting. So it's gonna, and then we have all these earnings and the Fed meeting. It's gonna be one hell of a week. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna keep rallying here, or we're gonna go right back down, most likely. So of note here, the Fed speaking, I want to talk about it a little bit. I think they might go 75 or surprise us with 100 like they did last time they went, with 75. They surprised us. So I think we could maybe see a bit of a trend of that, maybe. But not only that, I think the Fed is really going to talk, it's just going to be hawkish. And there, obviously there's going to be talk about what they're going to do now after this. And are we going to slow down, or what are they going to do? And I think the Fed is really going to reaffirm how hawkish they are now and for the future here somewhat. I'm kind of holding my tongue here, trying to not be wrong, but I think that they're going to keep being hawkish, and we're going to see 4 or 5% interest rates. They're not going to pause from where they learned from the 70s and 80s and stuff, that you can't stop and then stop and start. It doesn't work, and they didn't stamp out inflation for a long time. I think they want to stamp out inflation permanently. Something else too, we'll look at it here. Historic mortgage rates, and we'll just look at, just so you can see. I hope this is, oh, that's not right, sorry. I'm trying to, there we go. As you can see, just like the historical interest rates, how low they've been, and they've been in constant decline for so long, and then all of a sudden, boom. But nonetheless, as you can see here, definitely we've been so used to low interest rates. I mean, I'm not going to say what it's going to do or what it's going to mean, but it's definitely of note. And you just have this sharp uptick here, just in a completely straight line. It's very interesting times for the economy. I'm of the belief that we're likely going to have a recession. Soft landing is almost impossible. I'm afraid that the Fed is going to break something, or inflation is going to remain, and we're going to have stagflation. That's really what I'm afraid of. But the Fed is likely just going to keep hiking and hiking. Like, there was one guy that said, I seen that the Fed is going to pause in September. That, to me, that's just no. Like, I cannot see that happening. I can see 50 in September, but the deal is with 75 and 100 now. Part of my thinking is how much, if I know it's 25 basis points of difference, but it's like how much runway do they want to leave for the future? At the end of the day, about 25 basis points is a lot of runway somewhat for the future, right? You know what I mean? Like if you want to go to 4 or 5% interest rate hikes, like if you 4 or 5% interest and you want to keep hiking, you can't, got to leave some runway. This will take us, well, to 2.25 to, we'll have a look at I hope I can find it here. Oh, where is it? It's going to show the percentage. Here it is. Here you can see the time too, but oh, it's up to 80% chance of 75 and then 20 for 100, as you can see here. Let's look at the next meeting here. I'm actually, that's interesting. As you can see here, very interesting for sure though. The market is pricing in less interest rate hikes. I think it's wrong in doing that, to be honest. Even with the recession, I think the Fed is going to hike until inflation comes down 4% and it's a continual downtrend. Or, we really go into a recession that's deep-ish, or we can, clearly see we're going to be going into one. Or the Fed just ends up breaking something in the economy from raising so high and from us being at 0% interest rates for so long. And et cetera, whatever, and all the other things going on in the economy. But the labor market is still very strong, but jobless claims have been ticking up. They obviously should. They have, they almost just have to, the way the economy works, to be honest. And Ford, of note, cut employees, but that was in the gasoline, like the gasoline engine place. They didn't cut any electric vehicle employees. So it's just of note. We'll look at some more economic data coming out this week. Not, a huge focus, but definitely will be, obviously it always is somewhat. So you can see here, just have a peek at it. And we'll look at some more earnings. So Exxon is on Friday, Meta Wednesday, Amazon Thursday, Google Tuesday, Apple Thursday. You can have a look at all the projections here. It's going to be just an insane week. I'm super curious to know with FX and everything what's going to happen. It's going to be very, very fascinating to know. I'm almost just dying to know. I'm super excited. It's also a big week for myself too. I have a lot of companies reporting, and I'm also going to make a move after earnings maybe I'll make a video about it, but I won't tell yet. I don't think anybody really cares, but I won't tell yet, but I'm going to make a move on likely Thursday or Friday after earnings on this company. I'm going to make a move on them and scoop them up. It'll be a new buy for me. So look out for that video. We'll look at chart of the S&P here. So obviously we had our bottom at 3,600 and we've had a bear market bounce. Question is this going to continue? This week it's either this week it's going to continue or it's going to go right back down. It's going to be a huge week. Like I could not tell you whatsoever what is going to happen because there's so much going on. And on top of that, what the market does, like especially regarding the Fed, like, if you think the market would do one thing when the Fed does this, but sometimes it does the opposite. It's very interesting and weird, but fascinating at the same time too. So just have you guys can see here. I think personally we're going to make a new low, or maybe where this bear market is going to continue for a bit of a while longer here until we get really a clear economic picture. And I think again the Fed is really just going to reaffirm how hawkish they are, to be quite honest with you. So look at just crude oil prices here where they're sitting. It's Sunday here at 3:14 Central. I think I last just checked about an hour ago. I think in wherever they are in Asia, they're open. They're very slightly up. very, very slightly, but I think this is, yeah, it's 1 day ago. So, oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe it is updated, but natural gas too. Look at that. Speaking of, well, just look at oil, we'll talk about wheat too. Mr. Putin did open the Ukraine up supposedly for some grain export supports and stuff. That is huge. That's why you've seen the big fat drop today. That's why we've seen a big fat drop. Obviously, you can see the price coming way back down. I will say I'm up in Canada here. Canada is a big producer of wheat for the world, and the weather here has not been good. Like it's been pretty nasty. So I know there's been some talk of the US having good weather and stuff, but up in Canada here, at least for my area, obviously I'm just one person, but it's been some very nasty weather. My family farms too. So and then yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So we'll just have a look again at earnings here. You guys can have a look. It's gonna be one hell of a week. I'm buckling up here. I'm super excited. I have a lot of companies reporting. I have specifically energy companies reporting here. So it's going to be, I think, the energy companies are going to really show people how much money they're making and remind them. So I'm excited for that. Um, yeah, huge week, huge week. It's like I can't say that enough. It's going to be massive, as you can just see here. And then we have again the Fed meeting and well, this says Q2, but it's Q3 GDP reading, the first one, the very first one for a Q3. So it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's just show off that little what the projection is so far here. So 80% chance the market says of 75 and 20 or 100 bips. Yeah, so I think I'll wrap it up there, and I hope everyone is doing great and everyone has a great day.